Hey guys, I haven't been here for a while, for like the past month, maybe two, but I'm gonna come back doing What If Issei was the son of Lucifer and Alucard. Hope you guys like it. Please like, subscribe, and maybe I'll upload it again tomorrow. So, we're gonna start this before the Great War starts. Before Lucifer was about to turn against God and the fallen angels. But in this one, Lucifer is a female, as you can see in the picture. Lucifer is the girl with white hair in the suit, holding the glass of blood, obviously. But, well, she meets a vampire by the name of Alucard. Well, at the time, he's being known as Dracula. But what she doesn't know is that Alucard isn't from this world, but he came to this world by a complete accident while he was reforming his body. And we're gonna say that Lucifer and Alucard fell in love. Lucifer became the king of the vampires, eventually siding with the devils and helping the devils when the war starts. But before that, Alucard, well, they gotta do the dirty, as Lucifer is pregnant with her son Issei. Because the war is about to start, they are scared that if they don't end it quick, it will be bad for their child. So Alucard tries his hardest to stop the forces from the fallen and the angels on all three sides, but he can't do it all by himself, as Lucifer commands her armies to attack as well. But eventually, I'm going to say God and Azazel. Azazel is still the leader of Grigori, for the fallen angels, but in this one, he's against the devils. Eventually, Lucifer, God, and Azazel all meet on the battlefield, as Azazel starts talking smack, saying, "We got you knocked up, Lucy." As Lucifer glares at Azazel, and God gets mad and says it was that Alucard, wasn't it? Because at the time of the war, he's going to go by the name of Alucard, so most people think that Dracula is dead now, but Alucard's his son. So when he becomes level 0, they'll all be surprised to know that he's just Dracula in disguise. Quite surprising, actually. It's really easy to find out. But they start their fight, God throwing meteors at Lucy and Azazel. Azazel, he's just throwing light spears while talking trash to God and Lucy. But as God is about to harm Lucy and her child, I'm just going to call her Lucy because female Lucifer. Alright, so as he's about to harm their child, both heavenly dragons come out of nowhere and they start fighting. And all the armies turn their eyes over to the heavenly dragons. And God says, we should stop this war for a quick peace treaty to stop them, or they'll destroy our armies. As Azazel and Lucy both agree, they go to stop the heavenly dragons, as God, he gives his life to turn the heavenly dragons into sacred gears. But I'm going to say that before Lucy could die, Alucard came out of nowhere, taking her and using his blood to heal her. I'm going to say that he has that ability in this one. So he uses his blood to heal her. Well, heal her enough to where she'll last for at least another 100 to 200 years. And Alucard disappears with Lucy, as everyone thinks that Lucifer and Alucard both died, as well as God. And I'm going to say 2 months after that, we see Alucard and Lucy in a dark area, in a very odd thing is about to happen, as Lucy's giving birth to Issei. Issei is obviously coming out. 2 bright lights, a white light and a red light, both slam into Issei's stomach while he's a child. And the only reason that this happening was God. I'm sure you guessed what it is by now, and I'll explain at the end of the video how this happened. But they're concerned that Issei is not alright because they didn't know what the light was. So they took Issei. They started to raise him. By the time he was 19, he had superhuman strength, speed, senses, and all of the above. He was immortal, obviously, being the son of Alucard and Lucifer. That just comes with the description. He can absorb memories from his victim's blood. He also has slight omniscience because Alucard and Lucifer both have that. He also has slight omnipresence. And I only say slight because I don't want him to be too overpowered yet. But he is wearing the restricting gloves that Alucard has. And I'm going to say that Alucard, due to giving his blood to Lucifer and fighting both red and white dragon, heavenly dragons, he was significantly drained in power, losing his immortality. But he did have most of his vampire abilities, so he still was able to give Lucifer the blood to make them both last about 200 years. So eventually Lucifer gets Issei to start reading everything that she can so he can be ready for the world when they're gone. And Issei knows that they're both dying, but he knows it'll take 200 years before it happens, so he's not all too concerned. But when it happens, it'll be very interesting, might I tell you. I'm gonna time skip about maybe 100 years after that. So he's 119 currently. We find him in a bar of sorts. He's currently having his first job, because they wanted him to feel like that what having a job is like, as he sees some guys coming in that look like they want to cause trouble, as they start messing with a girl, but she had dark black hair. It doesn't really matter, but she had dark black hair, brown eyes. She was wearing khaki pants and a shirt, I don't know. And they start messing with her as he decides to go up to them and uses telepathy to, well, not telepathy, he uses hypnosis. He hypnotizes both of them by, well, I'm going to say there's three guys. He hypnotizes all three of them to go outside, as he tells them to go outside or they'll be put outside. So people just think that they got scared of him. So they went outside, and Issei went outside after them, and he did what vampires do best. He drank their blood, taking, whatever strength they had, which wasn't really much. And he goes back and tells her, it's alright, you'll be fine. As I'm gonna say they got a bit close. She comes to the bar every day. As one day he's off his shift and she goes into the bar thinking that he's there still. And I'm gonna say there were two devils as well as one fallen angel that was looking for Issei, because when Issei took out the guys, he had to use a bit of his strength. Whenever he uses his strength, he is usually behind a magic barrier to protect his power from the outside world. And it's only been I'm going to say 3 weeks, but they've gotten close enough to be like brother sister. As they come in and they see that she was around him a lot, so just because they really didn't care who they hurt, they killed her. Her name was I don't know, Sally. I don't really care what her name was. It doesn't really matter because, she's dead. So, they kill her and everybody else in the bar. Issei comes back because he forgot his cloak. As when he comes back, he sees the devils and one fallen angel in there, killing Sally. As he is enraged because he wasn't expecting, he wasn't even thinking that devils or fallen angels could find him, as he uses his speed to jump over to the fallen angels and he rips their skulls off. As he just goes insane, he takes most of their souls through their blood and through soul manipulation, which is an ability that Lucifer had that passed on him. As he did this, he is so enraged that he took out the entire city. Well, it wasn't a city, more like a town, a small town, not that big of a town. And it's not near too many towns, so it didn't draw that much attention. But anybody but the supernatural felt his power going out of control. So somebody went, but they just missed Lucifer coming in to take Issei back to the castle, which is the same castle Alucard has, the moving one. And that's how they can't find Lucifer or Alucard, but they think they're dead, so they're not looking. So the town got looked at by the supernatural. They just think it was a rogue vampire and a couple rogue devils that did this. So they put out a bounty for them, as they got, Lucifer came back and used mind control on anybody that found something that could have linked it to Alucard, Lucifer, or Issei. And they went back to the castle, as Issei got berated for doing it. And when Alucard asked why, he told him, and Alucard felt bad for him, so he said, "This happens sometimes, son. You're just gonna have to deal with it." As he walks away, and Lucifer, she also walks away with Alucard nodding her head at Issei. As Issei, he starts to cry, but I'm gonna say about 30 years later, he's 149 currently, and Lucifer comes up to him with a set of chess pieces and says, "Here, take these. They're new in the underworld." Yeah, she still has ties to the underworld. She can go in and out of the underworld, not even being sensed by the current Lucifer or the four. I can't even look. Leviathan, Lucifer, or Beelzebub, the other one, and can be sensed by any of them. So she just took a chess set from Leviathan and poured Issei's blood over it, and it turned into a full set of mutated pieces. As she gave the set to Issei and said, "You can use them to make a peerage for a later date when you need it." And, well, Issei takes them and he puts them inside of his coffin where his souls lie, the people that he killed. The entire town of people and anyone else that he's killed are inside of his coffin because he took their souls. So, after that, it's become about, he's about 199, and on his birthday is in a few days, and Lucifer and Alucard both know they're about to leave, so Alucard gives him his 2 pistols, and Lucifer gives him a sword, which I'll have a picture for up here, I hope, if I remember. And he takes him, hugs his parents, but he knows that they're going to be, die. As Lucifer and Alucard has some powers that he didn't have currently, but as they're about to die, they told Issei to come closer to them, as they put their hand on Issei, and he gained some of the powers like Lucifer reality warping and godlike strength. He just had superhuman strength, but he had godlike strength, godlike speed, and godlike senses. The ability to fly with wings. He didn't learn how to unlock his wings yet. Some other things that I'll tell you about later. And he also got the familiar summoning of the 2 of the wolves. Well, not wolves. The black dogs that Alucard has. So after that, as you can see, he has the black dogs summoned in his picture. His picture is the one with the black, like, straitjacket-ish coat and, the gloves on, along with the 2, I'm going to just call them dire wolves because I don't really care what they're called. I'm just going to call them dire wolves. Well, one dire wolf on his shoulder, but that doesn't really matter all too much. That's what he currently looks like. As I'm going to say that the war was 500 years before canon, so we're going to skip 500 years and 2 months after the war ended. We see Issei. He is currently the owner of a pretty big company in America, and he has companies all over the globe in US, Europe, UA, Japan, everywhere. But he's currently in Kuo because he needs a new high school license for the year he's in, so he's going to a high school called Kuo Academy. And he doesn't like the uniform, so he doesn't wear it. He just comes wearing what he's wearing now under a dark black trench coat. And he has the same glasses that Alucard has. As he walks up to the front gate, as Sona stops him, and Issei can sense that she is a devil, as he says, "What would you want?" As she says, "Why aren't you wearing the school uniform?" Well, you have to also keep in mind that Sona's looking up at Issei because Issei's like 7'4", 7'7". He's pretty high up there. He's above 6 foot, just telling you that. So I'm just gonna say he's 7'5". I don't care. As Issei looks down at her and says, "What does it matter where I was? Why I'm not wearing it?" And she says, "You need to wear it to come into the school." As Issei uses an ability called, well, he doesn't use hypnosis. He uses memory alteration, which is kind of like hypnosis, but he's just saying that he has a special thing where, because he is as tall as he is, they don't really make the size clothes that he wears. So she says, "Alright, I guess you can go in since we don't make it." But she said, "You're gonna have to take off the coat though." As he says, "That's fine." As he takes the coat off and he walks in, the coat basically disappears after that. Sona didn't see him put it away. As he's walking on the campus, he looks up at a window, seeing two more devils looking down at him, one with red hair and one with, well, violet, black hair. Black hair. Yes. Well, what color hair does Akano have? Is it blue, black, purple? She has, I don't know, dark blue hair. Real dark blue hair. So, he looks up at them, he waves, and they wave back. As he goes to his class, he sees that everyone's looking at him all weird because he's the tallest in the school, and he looks very creepy. As everybody, when he walks into class, starts mumbling and says, "Who's this guy?" As the teacher says, "We have a new student transfer. His name is Issei Hyoto. Would you like to share anything with the class?" As he says, "Well, my birthday is, I don't really care, I'm just going to say January 5th. And they say, "What year?" Because he looks like he's, somebody yells from the back of the room that says, "You look like you were born in the 1300s, I don't know." As Issei looked up at him and says, "Very funny." But he's not laughing because he actually was born in the 1300s. And he says, a normal date, I don't know. He says, hold on. Sorry, my little brother came in. But it says a random date at which he's born. And some girls ask him if he's a pervert. And he says no. And then he sees everybody as like a weight got lifted off their shoulders. They all sighed and said yes. As the furry duo said, "Which part of the female body do you like the most?" And he says, "What does it matter to you?" As the teacher says, "Well, that'll be enough of the questions." As he goes to sit down next to this, the girl that he saw when he looked at the window, Akano. And I'm going to say he's in third year class because why not? And he also found out what those lights were. I'll tell you at the end of the video, like I said. He looks over at her, and he can tell that she's a devil, but he can also smell a fallen angel. So he thinks that she's a half-breed fallen, because that one's the most potent. And then the devil was given by the king, which was the red-haired one, is what he's coming to the conclusion in his mind. So he looks into the front of the class as Akano looks over at him, and she giggles a little bit. And in her mind, she's thinking that he's a devil, but I can also sense a fallen angel. Well, not a fallen angel scent, but she remembers Gasper and says, and she thinks a vampire, maybe. As I'm gonna say, with all of Issei's great thinking ahead, he didn't think that there would be this many devils in a high school. So, especially not high class ones, that they'd be able to sense him, like Akano. So she's the queen, and a pretty powerful queen at that. She was able to sense that he was a devil and a vampire. So she says, I'll have to tell Riaz. Hold on one second. Sorry, that was my brother. As Issei, he goes home at the end of the day, and Akano goes to Riaz and tells her that she thinks that the new kid Issei is a vampire and a devil, as she says that she doesn't know what he's doing there in her territory, but maybe you should ask him. As she tells Kiba to get him in the next day and bring him to the club building. And I think that's where we're going to have to leave this off. I'm about to have to go make some pizza, but I hope you like the new intro too. Please like, subscribe. Bye.